First off, thank you judges for coming. My name is Spencer Katz, and as well as those individuals listed up there who could not be here today, we created an idea called service domain. So how many of you guys have ever done research? Right? How much time did you spend doing that research? A lot? Really trying to get it right, you know, trying to get things done. And so our idea was we were trying to save time. All us college students were thinking, you know, Princeton, right on their website, 8 to 12 hours to complete a proper 2-page research paper. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time, especially students here. You're trying to handle a job, you're working full time, you're going to school full time. Hey, you can barely breathe most days, right? So our idea is an aggregator system that is able to compile data for you. We have an analytics team. I'm a prior Army intelligence analyst, so my cost of getting individuals that have an analytical mindset or be able to piece data together was one of our competitive advantages, because it's using a contractor system where we get those guys to be on our site and doing information from wherever they are in the entire world, and they're always looking for a little extra money to go out and maybe have a little fun, you know, this or that. So having those contractors being 1099, avoiding that ability to use our system, piece the data together, and do those kind of things. I'm showing the app here. We're going to wait a little bit on the app. First, our first sale, our first concept is to do a website just for the pure cost of getting everything setting up. And doing that, we kind of said the website route would be better for our startup. So I apologize for the crude pages at this point. We're a little further on at this long, but it's still not up and operational. So the concept behind the idea, as you can see here, right, that's a typical college page. You go into any one of their databases and you can pull all kinds of information about whatever topic you're looking into. But there's nothing that links all those databases together and gives you a result, as well as you can go and you can see here, I got an A in Dr. Flores' class using this particular research, this line, she likes this particular offer, things like that. So it adds a social media aspect to the site. So as any college student or things like that, and that's really where we're going to start with this, is you go out and you're able to research absolutely anything. And so say you're researching a paper on Native Americans in the United States, 1880s, right? And you want to know and say, okay, you see, okay, I was in Dr. Morales' class, I used this particular information, this was the paper that we did, and it brings everything together, and you could pretty much research anything that you're honestly looking into. So there's a lot of university expos and things like that, as that being our like initial clientele idea, and bringing everything together so we can go and research and meet with those people and hopefully get them to use our product. The concept that we want to do, we want to sell the university a box. I want to sell them a server, I want to sell them the code, and I want a license for them using it. I want to license it per student that's going to use the information. So for example, one of University of Texas Austin databases, their licensor per year is $415,000. We're obviously not that high, wouldn't even be close. I think we're looking at someplace like this, someplace like UNT Dallas, to be a $100,000 license a year to be able to use the software. We'll maintain the server and the box along with their IT people. There's a lot of different ways to get our information out there. I think realistically we're trying to go for particularly the university environment, so those trade shows, expos, but as well as having our own pages and getting that information exposed. We say eventually we would have an app, would have the capability. Our idea was to have, you know, a set number of tiles, so if you're just the random free user, you can have 6 tiles. As I showed originally, so I had like ISIS was a big topic at the time, but now if you wanted to research Dallas, Ebola, so if you're the New York Giants, you're not paying a medical professional to come in and give you a briefing before you head down to lose. But you know, that's here nor there. But you get all the information you possibly need, and all these people would be able to, depending on the individual looking into it, would verify the information with other information out there and sending to you a package. So you click on your tile, and it would show you all the articles that are listed, what they're rated on, who's commented on it, what they've said, into a one more form of what you're looking into. As I say, it's more of cost per customer. I really want to do a by student basis, really want to go and really have a discussion on what they're looking for and what they're trying to get out of it. Thank you.
So you're going to have the people doing the analysis, human beings?
Yes. The computer will link it for them, but it's the by person data, personal part to it, because you go out to a lot of these research firms and the computer brings out all this information, you're still wasting time. You as the client are wasting time going through the package. So I'm trying to cut that capability out of it, save time on the actual research, and get it for the university level for the student.
By having real, serious analysts doing it for you.
Right, but the cost for those analysts, depending on the search. If you just wanted a computer search, it's a different price. If you wanted to get a comprehensive, the price goes up.
So I'm curious what Professor Flores would say about having your research done by external analysts for you.
Well, I really think that as long as the students is reaching the objectives that they have in the class and they get, I really don't care how they get the information along as they get the concepts done. To me, be something that this will be really useful, and I think that if he launches it, it's going to be very successful. It's going to help us a lot to save a lot of time, accomplish more.
I see what you're getting at. One thing I definitely thought of was the academic research, especially in your lower core classes, is really a part of the concept versus.
Well, I mean, it'd be great to have these analysts working on your behalf, but
Right.
you'd also kind of want to know how they do what they do, so you know how to do it.
We're just verifying information, about every topic ever. It's going to take a lot of.
Well, that's the thing is it's a per search basis, right? So it's not everything's going to be verified. It may take time for the search to actually go back and reach an analyst and then come back to a certain.
Well, I noticed, and the reason I asked that is I noticed one of your things was you're looking for political correctness, and what's your scale between like what I figure is politically correct and what he figures politically correct? Complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So I was wondering how you're going to attack to, create a uniform standard of
neutrality.
Neutrality, correct?
Right. So we're going to have it was more of an accuracy scale. But based on politically correctness, I see what you're saying. So what we're going to do with that is it's like what's actually accurate. So they would compare to other information that's out there, and there would be a scale like 1 to 5, some sort of Likert scale, saying, okay, this is accurate based off these other pieces of information, not necessarily politically correct, or so it's not reading one side of the information. So it wouldn't show. So if you go to Fox, right? You're looking for information that's entirely correct about the left. You're not really going to find it, right? So, but if you can take information and somebody can go, okay, this, and this, they're not necessarily like conservative necessarily leading pages.
How much do you charge per user?
Depends on the search. We were going to charge originally the users if it was going to go through the university, but if like say a company wanted to come in and use the service, then it would be depending on how much the information is at the time. So it really depends on the search and time it's going to take.
I know a lot of these research guys have made a lot of money on like Fiverr,
Right.
Fiverr.com. I mean, they charge way more than $5 at the end of the day. And then have you looked into military grants or money available to vets that are starting businesses?
Yes.
Do you know how much you might need to get started?
Okay, so what we looked at just doing the simple side of it was to get the website up and everything else was about $250,000 to $247,500. And that was getting the website, getting the server page, and getting the people to be there monitoring that stuff throughout the course of 3 or 4 months. The server stats themselves were just, I think we decided on 5. It was 15,000 to 20,000 just for those.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much. Oh, we got one more question. I apologize.
As far as research is concerned, there are a number of existing tools, search tools like EBSCO or Inform, which has got access to hundreds of databases online. And our libraries subscribe to them, and most libraries subscribe to them. And if you have to compete with them, you have to basically get access to those databases.
Right.
Okay, do you think it is possible to get access to those databases and compete with EBSCO and Inform?
So I actually want to partner with EBSCO and like Inform and JSTORs, and I am bringing their data faster and better and refining it at the same aspect. What they do is they tell you that this is a good article, and they put it in a database for you. So I would never be able to go in and compete with a market in which they're at every university in America. So that's not, I'm done before I started my trying to compete.
By faster, you mean faster download speed or faster search engine?
Right, so a student's going to spend a lot of time looking at each of those different, this is how we got to the idea actually. So you look at JSTORs, you look at EBSCO, so you're looking for all the same information, and I'm going to have to go through 8 different databases to find the exact information that I need. And half the time when you do those searches, particularly it was a paper that I was working on Native Americans, right? And there was a point in history where they went from using like the skin pots and things like that to metal pots and things like that, and how it changed their culture. And in 2 generations they didn't even know how to make a skin pot anymore. I couldn't find it. It took me 4 days of just straight searching, trying to find this stuff. Now if I have a tool and as the customer goes in, I don't know if a lot of people know what Boolean logic is. It refines the results to a mistake string point, right? But in each of those databases, it wasn't able to bring that up. But if I can teach every user a system of really searching and using a query tool in a simple process without filters and all these massive other expansions, that's where I'm trying to get at. So I don't want to compete with
Are you familiar with Google Scholar? Google Scholar?
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much.